Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're stepping back in time to uncover one of the most chilling and tragic chapters in industrial history, the story of the Radium Girls. Picture this. It's the early 20th century, a time of explosive scientific discovery and boundless optimism. A brand new, almost magical element has been discovered, one that promises to revolutionize medicine, power the future, and even make everyday objects glow with an ethereal, otherworldly light. This miracle element was radium, but hidden beneath its captivating shimmer, its alluring glow, was a horrifying and deadly secret. A secret that would slowly, agonizingly consume the lives of hundreds of young women, and in doing so, expose a scientific deception and a level of corporate greed that is shocking even by today's standards. This is a story of a promise that became a poison, a dream job that became a death sentence, and of the women who, even as their bodies were failing them, found the strength to fight for the truth. To understand how this tragedy could even happen, we have to understand the world into which radium was born. When Marie and Pierre Curie isolated radium in 1898, it was hailed as a miracle. It was a source of immense, seemingly inexhaustible energy. And in an era before the dangers of radioactivity were understood, this energy was equated with life and vitality. Entrepreneurs and quacks alike leaped at the opportunity to market this new wonder substance. Soon, the market was flooded with radium-infused products that promised to cure everything from arthritis to impotence. You could drink Radithor, a certified radioactive water that promised to add pep to your day. You could buy Thoradia face creams, which promised a vibrant, youthful glow. There were radium-laced chocolates, toothpastes, and even radium suppositories. The prevailing belief was that if something was radioactive, it had to be good for you. It was the ultimate health trend, and its most famous property, its ability to glow in the dark, was seen as a beautiful, harmless novelty. This novelty found its most profitable application during World War I. Soldiers in the trenches needed to be able to see their watches in the dark without lighting a match that could give away their position. The solution? Luminous paint, made with a mixture of zinc sulfide and a small amount of radium. The radium energized the zinc sulfide, causing it to glow continuously. After the war, this military technology became a consumer craze. Everyone wanted a glowing watch, clock, or instrument panel. This created a massive new industry, and factories like the United States Radium Corporation in Orange, New Jersey, popped up to meet the demand. And to do the delicate work of painting the tiny numbers on watch dials, they needed a special kind of worker. Young women with steady hands. The job paid incredibly well, more than 3 times the average factory wage. For the young, often teenage girls from working-class families, this was a golden opportunity. The work was seen as glamorous, even artistic. They were called ghost girls because they would literally glow after their shifts, their hair, clothes, and skin dusted with the luminous paint. They thought it was a fun party trick, a harmless perk of a high-status job. The very technique they were taught, however, was a direct pipeline for the poison. To get the brush bristles into a fine enough point to paint the tiny numerals, the women were instructed to use a method called the lip, point, and paint technique. They would dip the brush in the radium paint, then briefly touch it to their lips to shape the tip. Dip, lip, paint. Hundreds of times a day. When some of the women expressed concern about ingesting the material, their managers assured them it was completely harmless. In fact, they were told a little radium would put color in their cheeks. They were swallowing a small, unmeasured dose of a highly radioactive substance with every single dial they painted. They had no idea that radium, once inside the body, behaves very much like calcium. The body, not knowing the difference, takes the radium and deposits it directly into the bones, where it becomes a permanent part of their skeletons. And once it's there, it begins its silent, relentless work of destruction. Radium has a half-life of 1,600 years, meaning it would continue emitting deadly radiation inside their bodies for the rest of their lives. And long after, The constant bombardment of alpha particles, heavy, destructive energy packets, shredded their cells from the inside out, riddling their bones like microscopic bullets. The first signs were subtle, then horrific. It often started with fatigue and severe toothaches. When a dentist pulled a tooth, the wound wouldn't heal. Instead, the jawbone itself would begin to rot away, becoming porous and brittle in a condition the doctors grimly named radium jaw. Molly Maggia, one of the first dial painters, died in 1922 after her entire lower jaw had to be removed. Her doctors, baffled, listed her cause of death as syphilis, a deliberate lie pushed by the company to tarnish her reputation and deflect blame. As more women fell ill with crippling anemia, bone fractures, and sarcomas, aggressive cancerous tumors that grew directly on their bones, the company doubled down on its denial. They knew. They had done internal studies showing the dangers, and their own chemists and executives took precautions, handling the radium with leaded screens and ivory-tipped tongs, while the girls on the factory floor were told it was safe enough to eat. This was the beginning of the horror, the dawning realization that the miracle element was a lie, and that the luminous glow they once found so beautiful was actually the light of their own slow, agonizing deaths. It set the stage for one of the most important and tragic legal battles of the 20th century. What do you think is the most shocking part of this corporate deception? Write in the comments. Subscribe for more untold stories, and see you soon.